there.
Hi.
My name is Allison. What are your names?
Jessica.
Joe. Nice to meet you both. So what brings you both here today to therapy?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. How do you feel? You were the one who kind of therapy. I'm just gonna.
Well, first, I was just going to say, I think that it was a positive thing that you went ahead and asked, Joe how he feels right off the bat. I think that's important right there. Do you feel like you're ready to answer that, Joe?
Yes and no.
Tell me a little more about that.
Yes, because I think it's important for Jeff to know why we're here. But no, because I really don't want Jessica to blow up. But what she's doing right now is a big part of why we're here.
Right. What's the problem?
You're always on that damn phone. I know. I want to try. I want to get better at it. We've talked about it a million times. But it's I'm busy. You want me to spend a certain amount of time with you. I want to spend that time with you. But I have work. I have school. I have a lot of stuff to do. And sometimes it's just easier. I can listen to you and hear you and, still be on my phone. I just want to know what you do on that phone. Well, I'm half the time I'm emailing work because I'm leaving, I'm 9 to 5 and I'm leaving at 5 when I really have work till 7. I have stuff to do, and so then I end up emailing when we're at home at dinner. If one of us is making dinner or whatever, I'm trying to just get things done and make sure I am responsible with work. And at friends too, I hardly ever see my friends, so probably because you're always trying to, control what I do and keep me at home.
Okay, so one thing at a time, and we're going to touch upon that a little bit more, Jessica. So what I'm hearing is, Joe, that you're feeling as though Jessica is preoccupied with something else, and you feel that not enough attention is being put on you. Would that be accurate to say?
Yeah. I just want to go back to you work 9 to 5, and you just said you work 9 to 5. But yet, you have to be answering emails. You can just answer them in the morning. It's not, you don't have to. It's not do or die. You can answer them in the morning at work. You don't get paid after 5 o'clock.
It's not that simple. I'm a programmer. Bugs come up all the time. You know what I mean? Something will come up, and then if the website's down, if there's any kind of issue, it's if I wait till the morning, I might not have a job next week. I feel like you don't understand this. It's not I do it every single time. Some stuff can wait. Yes, somebody forgot their password, maybe that can wait till the morning. But I have to fix bugs in software, and sometimes, this is medical software we're talking about. This can affect patient care. I need to make sure I'm able to answer things in a timely manner. That's part of my job description. You won't even look at me. Oh, now you're looking at me nice. Okay. So now what I'm hearing, Jessica, is that it sounds as though you're very dedicated to your job. You enjoy working. You seem very committed. Is that accurate to say?
Yeah, I love spending time with Joe more, to be honest. But I don't get paid for that.
Now, I just saw your facial expression there,
sorry.
Joe.
I didn't know I was supposed to be paying you to like me.
So now,
That's not what I meant.
So now, Joe, I'll get back on that momentarily. But actually, I did just see you sort of look at her when she said, I want to spend, time with you. I like spending time with you. What was that? What did that facial expression mean?
That I'm surprised, because I really sometimes feel that she likes spending more time on that phone doing whatever it is that she does. She says she's answering emails, but
okay, so it sounds like
sometimes she's answering emails with smile on her face, so I don't know what kind of bug is going on. Maybe a love bug of some kind.
Okay. Whoa. I don't know about that. Why would you, I don't even, I'm done.
Okay, let's take a little bit of a break and okay, let's take a little bit of a break on that subject. We can always come back to that. So, Joe, can I ask what your work schedule is like?
My work schedule, I go into work I leave the house at 6:30. I don't know how much of a commute. I'm in by 7. I'm a mechanic, so I do a lot of hands-on stuff, and I try to be home by 6 o'clock. Sometimes I'm home a little later, but it just depends. Like if I'm working on a car, and sometimes it's hard to stop halfway into a job, so I can't just leave. But yeah, I try to be home by like 6:30.
Okay. And now I heard you say, I sort of picked up on kind of like your tone of voice and your facial expression. I can't just leave. Is that implying that there might be some sort of reservations about the hours you work? And maybe Jessica, maybe I can ask you a little bit about that. Do you feel any kind of resentment about Joe's work schedule, or Joe not potentially being as accessible or available to you?
Well, I mean, Joe doesn't like his job. I mean, you can speak
Can you
for
speak
yourself,
on that,
but
Joe? Is that accurate?
I mean, you have issues with it, is what I mean. Like, not that you hate it.
I like my job. I like what I do. But I don't necessarily like where I work. I feel like they don't appreciate me and the work that I do. Like, the other guys will leave right away. Like 6 o'clock comes and they're out the door. Whereas if I'm in the middle of doing something that needs to get done, and I've been working on it for a while and I'm trying to figure it out, I would rather just stay a little bit later and finish the job instead of going home and then the next day trying to figure out what it is that I was trying to do.
Okay, and it's very interesting you say that because Jessica, we touched a little bit upon your work ethic and how, from what you're telling me and from what you're telling Joe, you are committed to your job. And Joe, it sounds like that you're committed to your job as well. So I'm seeing sort of a mutual, a very kind of similar sort of work ethic that is important, I think.
Yeah, I think we're both pretty hardworking people.
Would you say that that's maybe something that drew you to one another in terms of that, in terms of your work ethic? Or can you think of anything that did initially draw you together?
Well, I thought he was hot. I mean, to be honest, like, I mean, we met through mutual friends. I wouldn't say we got like set up, but we ran into each other a couple of times at parties. And the first time I saw him, I was like, whoa, he's gorgeous. And normally I'm not that type of person to have like love at first sight or like lust at first sight or whatever, but I just kind of like. We'd talk, and he just seems so much nicer than other guys, like, I've dated women, I've dated men, and, like, I've been afraid about being with a guy, but he just put me at ease. He's, like, very sensitive and sweet and smart, and kind of knows a little bit about everything, and it's, like, easy to have a conversation with him, because, like, he's just such an intelligent person, and I love everything about him pretty much.
Can you speak on that a little bit, Joe? How do you feel about what Jessica just said?
Well, I just kind of know you felt that way about me. It's been a long time since you expressed those feelings.
Yeah.
I feel appreciated, something I haven't felt in a long time.
That's important.
And that's the one thing that, you know, I fell in love with Jessica was because, you know, she was so, when we first met, she was very sincere and, you know, very loving and giving, and, you know, she brought a lot to the relationship. But now, I don't know if it's just life or, you know, the craziness of everything, that we kind of don't have that. But I don't know, I think it's that phone.
Okay.
She can say it's emails, but I think it's that phone.
Okay. Jessica, do you have anything to say about that?
Well, I mean, like, we've both been in relationships before, you know, we're 30, it's not like we're new to this, and it's like, things, like, wear off after a while, you know, like, you always, like, feel, like, that magic, like, early on, and, like, I still feel it, but, I mean, there's real life, it's like, you know, in the beginning, we used to, like, you know, sometimes we'd be late to work, you know, because we'd be in bed a little extra in the morning, or, you know, like, we'd make each other priorities more often, but then I got a better job, and, like, before I was just, like, IT, and I wasn't needed after hours, but now it's like, you know, I get paid more, I do more work, you know, I'm salaried, so 9 to 5 is great, that's supposed to be my hours, but if something happens after that, I mean, if it happens at 3 in the morning, I may not deal with it, you know, but if it happens, you know, at 7 or 8 or 9 or 10, I might have to send a quick email. And, like, I know I'm on my phone a lot, and, I mean, like I said, I'm willing to work on it, that's why I came, but I guess I just feel like the little digs, the little, like, accusations, like, you know, oh, I can't be fixing a bug with a smile on my face, like, what is that? Like, when have I ever made you feel any kind of, like, I would be with anyone else? But it seems like you're accusing me, maybe not of cheating directly, but of, like, trying to cheat, and when have I ever made you feel that I would do that?
I feel like you're just, the effort isn't there anymore.
Effort for what, though? Like, a
Effort
relationship?
for the relationship. Like, I mean, I'm cooking dinner almost every night. I'm the one that always has to make the plans for going out on the weekend.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I mean, it's hard, because, like, you don't like my friends. Or, like, it seems like you don't like my friends. Like, I know, like, we have different friend groups, but...
I mean, when they're together, they, like, drink, and next thing you know, they're all feeling each other, and...
Well, I mean, like, it's not always like that.
You being bisexual, I have a very difficult time with that. I know most guys would love it.
Okay,
But
no, that's
I have a
important.
hard time with that. I don't want to share, you know, my girl with somebody else.
But I'm bisexual. I'm not, like, polyamorous. I'm not, like, dating multiple people. I'm with you. Bisexual or not, I'm with you. And only you.
Now, my question, I suppose for both of you, was your sexuality already, Joe, were you made aware of her sexuality before you started dating, or around the time that you started dating?
Yeah, she was dating a girl.
Okay.
And then when I came along, she broke up with her to give me.
It wasn't quite like that. It was a very casual, we weren't, like, a couple. I didn't leave somebody to be with Joe. It was a very casual thing.
Okay. And Joe, what were your feelings about that at the time? It sounds like, you know, in the beginning it must, if you two were able to, you know, begin a relationship, it sounds like it might not have been a big deal as it is now, compared to how it is now.
I mean, when I first started seeing her, I didn't think a relationship was going to be that serious, so, yeah, of course, I mean, it didn't bother me.
Okay. Lauren, can you speak on that a little bit, Jessica?
But it would bother you that we are serious? It's like, I mean, you said, like, I mean, I understand, like, I get what you're saying about, like, you didn't know it was going to be serious. I didn't either, you know what I mean? But, like, you just said, I just heard you say, like, being bisexual didn't bother you because you didn't think it would be serious. But, like, does it bother you now?
I mean, then I thought it was hot.
So what I'm hearing, Joe, is that it sounds as though, and you know, and I think young people tend to, you know, begin relationships, and often we don't always know where it's going to go. You know, we don't immediately jump to the conclusion of this is definitely going to be long term, this is definitely going to end in marriage and kids. But I think that now, you know, now that you are serious, which is obviously, you know, noteworthy, it means that you two both care immensely about each other. So we need to think of your serious relationship as something positive. We can't think of it as something negative just because you're suddenly feeling, you know, some sort of not so much resentment, but, you know, feeling some discomfort with your sexuality. So we need to stick with the fact that your current relationship, the fact that you two were able to last and you were able to build a positive relationship, that is something positive. So I want to focus on that, and we don't need to go back to, you know, oh, you know, if I wasn't bisexual.
Well,
or
yeah, I mean, like, I get that you don't want to go back to it. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be, like, confrontational or anything, but, like, I mean, the thing is, like, you don't want to go back to it, but he said that, like, it was, like, hot and he had no problem with it in the beginning of our relationship because it wasn't serious. But, like, how do you think it feels for me as, like, someone who's bisexual to have my partner be like, oh, well, it's hot in the beginning, but now there's a problem? It's like, we do need to address that for me because, like, you know, I love Joe and I'll be with him no matter what, but, like, don't you think it would be, like, hurtful or hard for me to, like, be with somebody knowing that a part of me that's not going to change, they, like, barely accept it or just tolerate it?
So Jessica, I think that that's something that you can ask Joe right now by looking at him and.
Joe, is it really, like, I don't know how to word this, and, like, I don't know how to word it, what's the problem with me being bisexual? Like, what makes you upset about it? Like, now, in this, where we're at now, like, 2 years in, like, what's the issue? I don't mean, like, what's the problem, I mean, like, seriously, like, what is it, like?
I don't want to lose you, Jeff. You know?
You're never gonna lose me. I'm always gonna be here for you.
Sure. You can't guarantee that.
What do you mean?
Is it one of those things like you can guarantee, like, you know, or I'll get my money back? You can't give me that guarantee that it's never going to happen.
But would you say that if I was straight?
Well, yeah. I mean,
So it's not really me or being bisexual then, it's just being in a relationship.
I don't have a problem with you being bisexual. That's not what's in question.
Okay. So what
But
is it?
I don't have a problem with you being bisexual. But I do have a problem of you missing being bisexual and wanting to go back to it.
Do you think
Just like if you were straight, you know, I might think that you might miss being with another man and would want to go back. But I think it's even more in question now that you might miss that lifestyle. Like, I might not be able to give you what you want, even though I have more to give you, clearly.
I mean, I hear it. Like, I hear what
You got
you're
the
saying.
real deal, you know?
Oh, come on, stop with that, seriously. It's both, it's all the real deal. But so, I mean, like, I hear what you're saying, and, like, I understand, like, if I was in your shoes, maybe I'd feel that way too, but it's, like, it's hard for me to relate to that in a way, because, like, for me, like, I'm a faithful person, like, and when I'm in a relationship, I give it my all, and I may not be perfect, maybe I'm on my phone sometimes, maybe I work too much, maybe I'm a little too much of an anal neat freak. But those are, like, my little flaws. But, like, as a person, like, when I'm in a relationship, like, I only want that person. Like, I'm not, like, you know, my friends are my friends. Like, they can do what they want. But me, when I'm with somebody, I'm all in. So, I don't have, like, a wandering eye. I don't think about other women. I don't think about other men. Like, I mean, I'm not interested. I'm only interested in you. And, I mean, could that change someday? Could you be interested in someone else or me? Sure, maybe. But I mean, that's like, we can't control that. All I can control is now and my behavior now. And, you know, I want to be with you. I want to be with you for as long as you want to have me. And we've said that, I've been saying that for a long time.
Just we're both faithful. We both have been very faithful up to now. And I don't worry about what you might do. Well, I do. But you can say that you'll be faithful here with me, and then you'll go out, and who's not to say one of the nights when you go out and, you know, go to a bar and start drinking, like, who's not to say that you will want to be with that person, like,
but
you
have I
realize
ever,
how much you miss being with a woman.
have I ever, like, I mean, I don't get crazy like some of my friends do. Like, I don't, like, yeah, I mean, he's right. Like, some of, like, you know, some of my friends are a little crazy. Some of them, like, have open relationships and stuff. But that's not me. Like, I'm me. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like, being around my friends can be overwhelming. I understand. But me, when I drink, I don't get out of control. I don't make out with people at bars. I don't, like, get drunk and want to sleep with someone else. That's not who I am. So when you say that, like, it hurts my feelings because it makes me feel like you're always suspicious of me. Like, I've never, ever done anything to make you feel, or to make you, like, reasonably, like, it's not like I go flirt with people. It's not like I do these things, you know? It just seems to come out of nowhere, like, these, like, accusations.
Joe, would you like to comment on that?
Okay. I'm not accusing you of anything.
But you kind of are.
I'm just worried. It's not an accusation.
Okay.
It's a worry. I didn't say that you did anything, so I'm not accusing you of doing anything. It's more of a worry. It's like a what might happen, like a what if. Exactly. It's more of a what if.
And Joe, would you say that this is causing anxiety for you? Do you feel as though this worry and this kind of anxiety in regards to Jessica possibly engaging in some way with somebody else, how much do you think that this affects you on a regular basis? Does this enter your mind somewhat regularly?
It usually doesn't, but when she gets on the phone,
I'm sorry, it's a work thing.
It's like the phone, like.
So it sounds like the phone is triggering for you.
You know, how would you like it if I was just went around and was reading my emails and, you know, I mean, look.
So I think in general for the remainder of the session, because I think that we've been doing some excellent work. So far the communication has been very, very important and very useful, and I think that the information, you know, is being transmitted in a really healthy way. So I think that for the remainder of the session that we'll say that we won't take the phones out, but we can you know, talk about the phone a little bit and sort of the role that it plays in the relationship. So it sounds like, going back to a little bit about what you said before Jessica took the phone out, it sounds as though the phone might be a little bit of a trigger for these thoughts. Is that accurate to say?
Yeah, because I don't, you know, and I would never, because I respect Jessica's privacy just like she respects mine, and I would never go and take her phone and snoop around, and that's just not something that I would do. But it does leave me thinking and worrying about, you know, what she is doing.
Okay. And this is in terms of, you know, we touched upon a little bit sort of in the beginning of the session that sometimes her behavior in regards to the phone might trigger this. So there's a difference between her being on the phone and answering work emails, but then sometimes you said that she might smile or look a little bit more, you know, kind of excited than normal, which leads you to believe that it's not a work thing.
Yeah, she, you know, exactly. She will smile, and programming is not that exciting.
Okay, but listen, like, okay, I'm on there mostly when I'm on my phone at night. Most of the time, it's work emails. But, like, you're doing an email, you're writing an email, and then a text comes in from a friend. And, like, I mean, my friends make me laugh. They're funny. Like, I get excited about weekend plans. I get, like, I'm going to this festival, music festival, women's music festival at the end of the month, and, like, I'm really excited about it. And, so, like, I'm in a group chat with a few other friends that are going, and so, like, someone's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna, like, make these pot cookies or whatever, and, like, I'm all excited about it, and, like, so I smile, I laugh. Or maybe, like, somebody sends me a stupid picture of their cat with a fucking clown hat on, like, like, it's funny, I'm gonna laugh. Like, it's not like I'm, ooh, like, sexy, like, whatever, like, I don't know what you think I'm doing, but, like, that's not it. It's just life, like, and I understand, like, I try, like, I wish you could understand that it would be okay for me to laugh or smile when a friend sends me a text and have it not be.
Okay, that's important.
Just that. I don't do that.
So I'm gonna
just that.
So
I can't. I'm sorry. I have to interrupt you. All I heard was music festival, pot cookies, women. That was all I heard in that whole statement. So what you said before, what you said after, I didn't hear after. I just heard music festival, women, and pot.
Okay, so Joe, I'll get right back to that. I will come
how
right
is
back
that
to you.
supposed to make me feel?
I'll come right back to you, Joe. So, Joe.
Pot, cookies, women, you smoke pot. Oh yeah, and that's how I ended up with you.
Oh, that's
exactly.
real nice. That's real nice.
So I think we'll.
You know what? Maybe I'll just take a break from this. Maybe I don't even want to be doing this.
Jessica, do you
Walk-
feel as though?
walk away when it
Joe,
gets
I'll
better.
come right back to you. Joe, I'm sorry, Jessica. Do you feel like you need a break right now? Did that trigger any kind of?
That made me feel like dog shit. Like, seriously, him just saying that to me, like, well, and I said, you've tried pot before. Like, I wasn't trying to, like, insult him. I was trying to, like, level the playing field, because he's saying that, like, pot? Like, oh, like, pot? What's that going to do? But it's like, we've smoked pot together. He smoked pot before he met me. And then so to say, like, oh, well, that's how I met you, being like, I don't know what the hell that implied, but nothing good.
Okay. Okay. So
That wasn't a
lot.
compliment.
Okay.
It wasn't bad either.
A lot
Oh,
just happened
okay.
there.
It was like, I smoked pot and we smoked it together, and it was something that we liked doing together.
Yeah, but have
And
you
it brought us closer, and I mean, now I don't smoke it anymore, but clearly you do, so maybe you miss the pot, maybe you miss the women, and all of it combined. I mean, it got us going.
Yeah, but it wasn't pot
Gotta
that got
say,
us going. It was that.
sex when we had
Here,
pot.
Joe, let's
When
let
we-
Jessica-
When we
let's
had sex high, it was better than.
So Joe,
Maybe
let's
for
let
you,
Jessica-
not for me.
So Joe, I will get right back to you. But Jessica, what
That
were you
was
going to
below
say?
the belt. That was
Okay.
totally below
No,
the
I
belt.
mean, I mean, it's better for me sober. That's
Like,
what I mean.
literally.
Wait, listen, you're not listening to me. I meant sex is better sober, as in, like, I like to be there, be present with you. Like, I don't want to get high and have sex. It's fine, like, if you feel like it's better high, then maybe you should get high and have sex with me. That's
I don't
fine.
want to get, I don't do that anymore.
But
Clearly
you
my job
literally,
is drug screens, I can't do that kind
you
of
literally
stuff
just told me that sex is better when you're high. Like, that's
Well, it
what
was
it's
like
about.
then, like, it was all new and,
But for me, like, I mean, maybe that's.
oh, maybe that's what it is, maybe it was just a new thing, and so sex was better, and now because of all the tension we're going through, sex might not be so what it used to be.
But from, like, I get that, and, like,
I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying it's not what it used to be.
Okay, so Joe, did you just hear Jessica say, I get that? So right now I think that Jessica is about to validate some of the things, some of the concerns that
I
you have.
understand. Like, I'm trying to say that I understand, how you feel, that the beginning was better, and maybe that makes you feel bad. Maybe that's kind of some of what makes you, like, feel so worried that I'm going to cheat on you or, like, be with someone else. But, like, you've known since the beginning, like, I'm a social person, and, like, I have lots of friends, but I've never been somebody that, like, cheats. I've told you from the beginning, like, I got cheated on a bunch, before we were together. Like, I would never do that. I would never hurt you or anyone the way that I got hurt. And just because I want to go to a music festival for women, it's because I want to, sometimes it's like male energy is too much for me. Like at work, like I'm a programmer. I work with only men. Literally my whole office is men. I can't stand it. The only women are the receptionists, and it's like I don't have any like female energy in my life. I don't see my friends as much because of things like, you like accuse me of stuff or like act like I'm gonna cheat. So then it makes me not want to see my friends. So I don't have these experiences where I can just, you know, be with my friends like regularly. So like when this opportunity comes up for this music festival, and like then I get to, you know, when you said you were okay with it, I asked you first. It's not like I just planned it and told you. I asked you because your feelings matter, and you told me it was cool if I went. So.
Okay, now Jessica, that was a very important statement. Your feelings matter. Joe, how do you feel hearing that? I feel as though that's a very compelling statement right there. How do you feel about
I
what
like that she
just
says that my feelings matter.
I do. I mean, think
I
about.
want to go back to something that you said at the
Okay.
beginning, and then kind of answer that question. Like, you know, I think I'm having a hard time with the fact that, like you said, you know, you're a very social person and you enjoy being with your friends. Well, I'm a very social person and I enjoy being with my friends. I think the only difference is I am not interested in my friends.
That's
You know
not
what
a difference.
you
I'm
know
not
what I
interested in
mean?
mine either. Me
So,
being
like-
bisexual doesn't mean I'm a slut.
So yeah, so Joe, I hear what
Yeah,
you're
but your
saying.
friends are.
But I'm
So
not.
that's important. So Joe,
I'm not dating my friends.
So Jessica, I'm going to get right back to you. So Joe, what I'm hearing, what Jessica said earlier about how she is a social person and she likes being with her friends, that is an accurate statement. But she did not mention that she, you know, carries on the friendships anything more than just friendship. She did not mention engaging sexually with them or being intimate or romantic. So is this? So I'm feeling as though you're kind of going back into the assumption mode in which you're sort of you might be assuming some things without, because that wasn't said.
Of course I'm gonna. It's really hard not to.
Okay.
Even though, like, right now, her feelings, she's validated my feelings, and she did a wonderful job doing it. And that's one of the things I've always loved of her, Jess, and is that, you know, her articulation and her way with words. But it still doesn't, it's really difficult for me to get past this. It's not even Jessica.
Okay.
It's not.
Okay.
And
But
maybe
what
I
is
just
it?
came to an epiphany. But it's more of my insecurities about, you know, losing her, because I love her so much. I'm scared to lose her.
Okay. How do you feel hearing that, Jessica?
Makes me sad. I mean, I've never been with anybody that is scared to lose me. You know, like, everyone I've been with, like I said, people have cheated on me, and that's why I would never do it, because, you know, people have hurt me in the past, and, like, I want to be a good partner. That's all I want, is to be a good partner to you. And when you say, like, you don't want to lose me, like, it makes me sad, because I know you're feeling that, but it makes me feel good, because I know that I'm going to fulfill that for you. You're not going to lose me. Like, I'm always going to be here. I mean, the only thing that could happen that could make me leave you would be if you cheated on me.
I would never do
And
that.
I know you wouldn't. I know you would. I know you never would. Like, we talked about that in the beginning, and I told you that was my deal breaker. Like, anything else we could get through. And I know you're faithful. So you're not going to lose me. Like, nothing is interesting to me more than you. And nothing else is interesting to me, period, at all. Like, I don't have feelings for my friends. Like, I know they're a little crazy. Like, I get it. Like, honestly, maybe I haven't told you this, sometimes they're a little much for me, too. But they're my friends. It's like, you know, and sometimes when we hang out, and you don't know this because you don't hang out with us a lot, but, like, sometimes, like, they actually know that I can get uncomfortable, and they, like, chill out around me. Like, when we go out sometimes, like, they'll want to go to, like, you know, 2 or 3 bars, like, a little mini bar crawl or whatever, and I'll be like, well, I'm just going to join you for, like, a couple hours at, like, one place, and then I'll come home, and you know that. I've told you, like, that you know, oh, we went to this place. But I'm, like, leaving out the part that they went out for hours after, you know, because, like, I'm not with them. Why would I tell you, you know? That's their business. But, like, they tone it down when they're around me a little bit, you know? They know my limits. They know our relationship, you know? And even though I'm going to this festival in a few weeks, like, even though that's happening, and yes, there will be lots of women there, 'cause it's a women's festival, and yes, there will be pot, but there'll also be me, and I'm the same person that's not going to cheat on you or hurt you.
So I'm noticing, Joe, right there, like sort of a change in your facial expression. You know, earlier in the session when many things were coming out, I sort of saw a kind of like a pained, exasperating expression, but now I'm seeing that you're nodding and your sort of body language just looks much more calm, and I think that's important. It sounds
more
like
relaxed than he
more
normally
relaxed.
is.
I am.
Absolutely.
I think it's important for us to communicate, to be able to communicate. You know,
It sounds like that's one of the goals of today, to learn how to communicate better.
I just wish I, could be included in your conversations that you have on the phone.
What do you mean? Oh, you
Like,
mean like
you
you
know,
want to
something
see my
funny,
text,
I don't
or-
want to see your text, but if something funny happens, like, I wish you could, I know
Okay.
sometimes it's like an inside joke and I may not understand, but, I do know your friends and
Yeah.
we all hang out. Like,
I can make an effort to do that.
you
I have
know,
no problem with it.
show me a funny picture. I want to feel like I'm part of your life as well and not excluded in that.
That's it.
I guess the reason I don't do that is because I feel like you don't like my friends. So if my friend sends me something funny, like, I guess I'm assuming too. I'm assuming that if my friend sends me some stupid picture or a meme or whatever, that you wouldn't want to see it because you don't really seem to like them all that much. So maybe that's my assumption. And like, if you're telling me right now, like, you think something would be funny and whatever, and you would want to see it, then that's okay. Like, I'll show you
Yeah.
anytime. I have no problem with that.
That's something realistic to accomplish, you think?
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
something doable?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean,
that's
I'd like
great.
it. I would feel included. And
Yeah, I don't want- I
I
don't
don't
want
like
you
your
to-
friends for the fact that I think you want them.
So what I'm hearing is Joe wants to be included, and not necessarily in absolutely everything, as you mentioned, but you want to feel sort of validation that you two are still able to connect in some way, it sounds like. So even, because we connect with people in so many different ways, and that does include, you sharing something funny with her. It doesn't always need to be verbal, it doesn't always need to be serious, but I think that you want validation of some sort, that, you two are still able to sort of share things with each other. Does that sound correct?
Mm-hmm.
And going back a little bit to sort of what you were saying about, and we don't have to go into detail about this because this isn't one of the subjects, that was intended to be discussed, but you did talk about sort of your past, it being cheated on, and it sounds as though that led to some sort of insecurity.
well, yeah, I mean, it definitely has, like, but it's also led to me realizing the kind of damage that it does, and I would never do it. Like, it's just not part of who I am. Like,
Absolutely. And the reason why I touched upon that was because, Joe, you mentioned that you are insecure. So it sounds like we're sort of in this dynamic of two people who care about each other immensely and sort of have the same goals and expectations in order for the relationship to continue. But I think that where we hit that wall is the insecurity on both ends, and that can create a clash, and it can create a wall builds up, and that's where the lack of communication comes in, and that's where the resentment comes in. I think because you're both might be afraid of losing one another in a sense.
well, I'm not. I mean, I'm not saying you're like totally wrong. I'm not as afraid of losing Joe as he is of losing me, because even though I've been cheated on and stuff, like, I know the way he is. I know it wouldn't happen. Like, I trust that.
And how do you-
In the beginning I didn't, and now I feel more confident. It took me like maybe a year in, I started to feel way more comfortable with that, because I see him like every day, and I see the habits, and like, I learned the signs of like when someone is cheating, like how they act, and he's never like that.
you know, he's always been faithful.
So it sounds like what I'm hearing is that, Joe, what you're sort of feeling in the present moment is what Jessica did feel at one point a year ago, or for a year.
Jessica, how do I explain this? For a man, if she were to go be with a woman, leave me to be with a woman, do you know what that means to a man?
You would feel...
It means like, you know, the junk wasn't working, or like I wasn't putting on the right show. You know what I mean? I wasn't performing to the standards that a man should perform to keep a woman around. Like that just...
So you would feel emasculated in a sense.
Yeah, like that's just...
When you say that stuff, sorry, I have to say something. I don't like to interrupt, but I have to say something. When you say that, it makes me feel like you don't understand bisexuality. Like, it makes me feel like you don't get it. Because, honestly, like, me being bi isn't about parts. It's about the fact that I could be with a woman and be satisfied and not want to be with any other women or men. Or I could be with a man and be satisfied and not want to be with any other women or men. If we didn't work out, it wouldn't be because the junk wasn't working, and it wouldn't be because...
Well, I would know that, but my friends wouldn't know that, so then I would be, you know, the laughing stock.
So, Joe, does validation and acceptance from your friends mean a lot to you?
Well, it doesn't mean a lot to me, but...
But it means something to
know,
you.
I'm with her, I love her, you know, she means a lot to me. My friends know that, because they know how much I've changed since being with her. Then for her all of a sudden to go back to women, my friends would be like, what?
But I wouldn't. I want to be with you forever.
So those are things that I worry about. But, you know, I have to learn to put the insecurities that I have aside and realize that, you know, her being bisexual has nothing to do with what I have.
What if I made you a promise? Because I feel like maybe I would be willing to do that. What if I made you a promise that if we don't work out, it won't be because of another person? That way you don't have to worry about a woman, you know? You just don't have to worry at all.
I'll take that promise because it comes from you. And I know promises, you know, she always follows through with her promises.
I do.
So I'll take that promise.
Doesn't mean you have to never be insecure again, but I mean, you can't just like get rid of that one step. I get that, you know, like if we could, maybe we wouldn't even be here because I've told you a million times. But like now, when you see me laughing at some text message, and maybe it is an inside joke that I don't show you, and you start to feel a certain way, maybe you can like think about it and just be like, well, she loves me, she wants to be with me. And then when you have those moments, like, you don't have to worry about me leaving you for another woman. If we didn't work out, and I'm not saying that it's going to happen, I want that to happen, it's the opposite of that. But it would never be because of another person, male or female. It would be because we weren't right for each other.
You know, I think I have my own insecurities outside of this relationship. You know, things that have happened to me in the past. So maybe I should see someone.
Okay.
Maybe outside.
You would like to see an individual
Yeah, I
therapist?
think it would be. It seems like these are things that I'm insecure about, and then I'm bringing it into the relationship, and I'm really dwelling on them and having a hard time.
Do you feel like you'd be more comfortable seeing them outside? Because I feel like this, like, I mean, I know we like got heated a little bit for a few minutes, but I feel like this was like pretty productive. Like normally these conversations do not go well, and I feel like this went pretty well.
Yeah, but I feel like it's not fair to, with your busy schedule, to drag you here if really I'm the one with the problem.
I know what you mean, but like, I mean, you definitely dragged me today, but like, I see it now, like, and honestly, like, if you have those issues, like, I know it's not my responsibility, but like, I want to hear it. I want to hear what those things are with you, and that way I can be a better partner, and I can, I mean, maybe it would be different if it was like some huge thing, but if there's stuff in your past that like we haven't talked about, or stuff that's affecting our relationship, like, I want to talk about it together in counseling. Like, you don't need, and you don't have to feel bad about my schedule. Like, I'm willing to make this time. I was willing to make it today, maybe begrudgingly, but like now I'm like feeling like it might be a good thing. So I'm okay with it, you know?
Okay. So it sounds like we have a very, very good goal established. So am I hearing that you would like to come back to couples
Yeah.
therapy?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
So I think that a really great goal for the two of you for our next session is to maybe for each of you to sort of include each other in matters of your personal life that you might not have before. So for example, you know, you get a silly text, share it with Joe, have that connection, have that moment in which you're laughing or, you know,
Yeah.
talking about what you saw. And I think, and let me know how that goes. And then, and you know, and I think if we do get to the point where, Joe, if you decide that maybe you do want to see an individual therapist, I have some people that I could refer you to. But I think for now, the fact that you both want to come back and sort of have another couple session is very important, and I think it's great. So,
Okay.
thank you both.
All right.
And
Thank
I'll see you
you.
next time.